Hi, I'm Marsha McDonald. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm an American. I will soon be moving overseas to Europe, to Portugal. And I've lived in other countries as well. I've lived in the United Arab Emirates and I've lived in Korea and Japan. I met Kyoko Yoshida through friends. Kyoko did graduate work in the United States and she's a writer. Um, I read her work and found it absolutely riveting. It was so wonderful. A lot of her stories deal with animal sentience, animal consciousness, observing animals, and we are animals. And I really loved that Kyoko spent time really thinking about other beings. When this project came up, I immediately thought of her because I wanted to share not only someone from a different culture, a culture I admire, but also someone who was very interested in ongoing stories creatively about animal sentience. I found that really interesting. Kyoko presented the story going to meet the dogs to me. I was lucky enough to see it as she was working on it before it was published. It's now published in France. And she translated it into English for me because my Japanese is very, very poor. And I was absolutely taken with the story. I did a series of 7 short videos. I did not follow the narrative completely, but I followed the narrative in my head about love and extinction. I think her her words, which are her building blocks, her materials, are so strong. And I'm also taken with the impressions of a multicultural viewpoint. And by multicultural, I mean also animal culture. I just found it very, very, I still think about it. I still read the story. And I thank her for sticking with me through all these months while I think and make 7 videos to, in my view, complement an incredible story. Kyoko?
Hi, thank you, Marsha. My name is Kyoko Yoshida. I live in Kyoto and I'm a Japanese. I grew up in Japan, but I started to write stories in English and I studied creative writing at UW Milwaukee. But I met Marsha several years after I left Milwaukee through our mutual friend. And interesting part is that I studied in Milwaukee and Marsha did her artist residency in Itoshima in Fukuoka, where I was born. So we had this, sort of connection even before we met. So Marsha invited me to do some collaboration, and I always, because fiction writers always work alone. So whenever we get the chance to collaborate, I love to do that. And she gave me some ideas. I had been working on this series of stories of miracle dogs and miracles. And the Marsha gave me some ideas about, some paintings, Italian paintings. I took a trip to Venice to actually see the paintings, which didn't turn into the story, but that we did had this kind of exchanges and was really inspiring. And I also liked that Marsha works with the images of water in her works. And in my story, as the part of the thing is that the train brings the dogs back to the Northern Territory. And in their journey, the train crosses lots of rivers. and that I could kind of imagine, the river and the lake kind of meshing together in her visual work. So that was really exciting.